Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here with us for What Drives Her at the Chicago Auto Show, the sixth annual What Drives Her. When we started this in 2017, the mission was to engage more women in the auto show by showcasing women who are changing the automotive industry from the inside. For the first time, our event is being live streamed by Reuters Automotive Events, and if you would like to share a link, you can find that on the Chicago Auto Show site under news/what drives her. And please also share on social media with the hashtag What Drives Her. I'm Scotty Reese. I'm the founder of A Girl's Guide to Cars, and I am so proud to partner with the Chicago Auto Show on this event that has taken on a new life of its own since we started in 2017. The mission of the event has been to increase diversity and inclusion and to bring more women, especially consumers, into the auto show. Well, since we started this, the impact has been incredible. Not only are we seeing more women than ever innovating, leading, and presenting about their accomplishments, but the impact on consumers has been dynamic as well. Attendance at the Chicago Auto Show of women has skyrocketed more than 200% in the last decade. That's up from 28% of attendees were female to now half of attendees are female. Women are coming out and they're shopping for cars. Last year, yes. Last year, we decided to recognize with What Drives Her awards women who are having a huge impact in our business. The outpouring of respect and admiration for women in automotive has been incredible. In fact, this year, many of our jurors remarked at what a difficult decision it was in casting their votes. But there also was a moment last year where we realized something was missing, and that was the Ally Award. So this year, we will have 4 awards. There was something else that came into focus last year, though. At the end of the Chicago Auto Show, it was announced that Jennifer Morand, who we've all come to know as a driving force behind the Chicago Auto Show, would take the helm as president of the Chicago Automotive Trade Association and general manager of the Chicago Auto Show. So it is my honor and thrill to introduce Jen Morand.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Scotty, my partner in crime and What Drives Her. So while this is the 6th year of the program, as Scotty mentioned, just last year we introduced a new award element, and I'm so glad that we did. Just seeing all of the wonderful nominees that were listed on this award ballot this year just gives me chills. I was talking this morning with somebody who won the award last year, and a tear came to my eye because it's just so wonderful to be here to celebrate all of these females who do so much for our industry and drive us forward. And this year, each and every female nominee is so inspiring in various ways. As Scotty mentioned, it was very hard for the jurors to choose just one, but that's why we wanted to recognize all of the nominees today. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Kelly Webb Roberts to the stage. Kelly is our vice chairwoman of the CATA, the first vice chairwoman, I should also add, that's a female, and the association that represents the area's new car dealers and produces this great auto show. So I'd like to introduce Kelly Webb Roberts. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Jen. Welcome again to the Chicago Auto Show. This is our 115th year, and it's put on by our board of directors from the Chicago Auto Trade Association. I've grown up in the car business. At our Ford store in Highland, Indiana, they put on the marquee the day I was born that it was a girl. So I was destined to be in the car business forever, I think, from that day. Our family has been in the retail car dealership business for over 60 years, and I was the first female in our family that decided to make it a career. I've been fortunate to have so many men in my life that have mentored and supported me in this predominantly male-driven industry. And I truly have never wanted to be tagged, just because I was a female. I wanted it to just do things because of who I was. At the end of the day, I just wanted to be equal and fit in with everyone. But in business and in careers, it comes down to hard work ethic, and there's really no limit in this industry, no matter who you are. Over my years, I've seen so much growth in the female space of the dealerships. Growing up, I started at the stores at 14 years old in the office, which typically that's where all the women were working. Today, now we have technicians to general managers, and every facet of our business, women making progress. But stats still show that 74% of women still feel misunderstood by the auto industry. At the same time, 85% of car purchases, including those that involve car repairs, are influenced by women. So with that disconnect, it is critical for us to continue promoting and supporting more women involvement in the auto industry. And it's events like this that continue to push that momentum. Today, I'm thrilled to bring up Julie Scott, Vice President of Cars Media at Cars.com, to the stage, and she will be moderating a panel discussion about women leading the charge in EV.
Good morning, good morning. As our panelists come up on the stage, we have assigned seats, so that's helpful. So I have the honor of introducing and moderating this incredible panel. As I read their bios, just take a minute. These women are really changing our industry. They are going to have a lot to say about what we're doing with electric vehicles and the future of electric vehicles, but also the work they're doing behind the scenes and bringing women into leadership across the industry is also incredibly impressive. So I'll start with Chris Fuel, who is our brand CEO of Chrysler. Chris is a well-recognized senior marketing executive with extensive experience in automotive, omni-channel supply chain automation systems, smart building technologies in the industry. She achieved progressive responsibility in sales, marketing, product management, and P&L leadership at Ford, Johnson Controls, and Honeywell, with a strong track record of delivering profitable growth through integrated products, software, and services. Her extensive expertise in building and developing advanced product, marketing, and business model strategies will benefit the Chrysler brand to deliver customer-centric insights and innovative solutions. So thank you. Next, we have Kathy Gilbert, Senior Director, Minority Dealer, and Women Retail at CDK Global. Kathy is an accomplished and respected professional with more than 25 years of experience in the automotive industry as a business leader and champion of diversity at CDK Global. She's Senior Director of Minority Dealer and Women Retail Business, where she has the national responsibility for over 4,000 plus customers, generating over $250 million in revenue. She's responsible for managing the relationship between CDK and the customers, with the goal to make our minority and women dealers as successful as possible in achieving their business objectives. She also has developed strong relationships with associations, manufacturers, and industry partners. Kathy is a founding board member of Women in Automotive, focused on accelerating the role of women in the automotive industry, a recognized speaker, mentor, and automotive news leading woman of influence. Kathy has been actively involved in CDK's diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy for over 20 years. All right, next we have Melissa Washington, SVP of Customer Operations at ComEd. In this role, Melissa oversees all aspects of ComEd's customer operations, including energy efficiency programs, customer channels, and related technology, large customer services, customer call center, field operations, customer financial operations, and marketing. Melissa joined Exelon in 2003 and has held several roles of increasing responsibility for Exelon and ComEd through her tenure with the company. Melissa serves as board chair of the Metropolitan Planning Council and as a board member of the Illinois Manufacturing Association, the Chicago Children's Advocacy Center, and Intersect Illinois. She's also a board member and fellow of Leadership Greater Chicago. In addition, she serves as executive sponsor of Developing Young Professionals Chicagoland and Exelon Employee Resource Group. Welcome, Melissa. And finally, we have Linda White, Director of Government and External Affairs for BMW of North America. Linda is located in Sacramento, California, and in her capacity, she is responsible for managing legislative and regulatory policy issues in the Western region. She works closely with elected officials, various state agencies, business leaders, non-government associations, academia, and community partners. Key policy areas of focus for Linda include expanding the adoption of electric vehicles, including build-out of EV infrastructure, equity, and advocating for consumer incentive. Linda also works extensively on various other related policy matters, including auto industry, energy, autonomous vehicles, and privacy, to name a few. Prior to joining BMW, Linda served as senior manager for the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers. Linda has established a network of engaging the auto industry, emerging technology, and communities together by serving on various boards, including the board of ALAWS, an organization focused on increasing the adoption of electric vehicles in California. She serves in an advisory role for the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator. And additionally, she serves on the board of Leadership California, an organization that elevates a diverse group of influential women across California from success to significance. She also serves as a board member and mentor for She Shares. And within BMW of North America, Linda launched and is serving as chair for the company's Black Employees Resource Group. Welcome, Linda. All right, thank you all. I think this is a 30-minute panel, and I'm pretty sure those bios just took 20 minutes, so we're gonna jump right in. So thank you all. This is a highly relevant panel and discussion, and we're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start maybe with Chris, maybe we'll start with you, and we're just gonna jump right in. Are we all in on electric vehicles? And let me sort of set you up a little bit here. There's a huge focus on this all-electric future for many large OEMs as well as luxury startups. But it isn't the only approach out there. We still see 34% of consumers searching for an electric vehicle on cars.com. But there's also still interest in hybrid electric, plug-in hybrid electric. So as you think about it from the brand role at Chrysler, what is the path to full EV adoption when you think about hybrid models as well? And how do we stair-step that process as we need infrastructure to catch up, which we're going to talk about, and consumer adoption?
Yeah, it's such an important question. And for Chrysler, we've obviously taken a multi-chemistry approach to supporting a sustainable environment and cleaner mobility. So we've got a mix of ICE, plug-in hybrid, and our future product and technology roadmap is migrating toward full battery electric vehicle across the portfolio. The reason for covering all of those different bases is intended to serve the needs of the broader customer base. They all have different needs for affordability. They have different needs for fuel economy, as well as the degree of electrification that they really want to purchase. And the plug-in hybrid is a really good stair step in that approach to full electrification. For example, the Pacifica plug-in hybrid qualifies for the full $7,500 tax incentive, so that lowers the barrier to entry for many consumers, particularly women, who tend to be more cost constrained than their male counterparts, and still gives 32 miles of full electric range and 532 miles of full blended range. So for people who are looking to dip their toe in the electrification pool, it's a really good alternative and choice for them to consider. as they're trying to figure out when is the right time for me to go full electric. And for women, they do have a higher interest in considering battery electric vehicles, but tend to not be early adopters of new technology. They wait for it to be a bit more proven out. And again, affordability is a pretty significant factor. So we as OEMs and brand leaders really have to prioritize how do we develop and bring new electric vehicles to market that are affordable and accessible for everyone.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. And as I direct the question, if any of our panelists want to jump in and participate in any question, please feel free. Go ahead, Melissa.
I was just thinking, and let me make sure my mic is on.
There you go. That might
Okay,
be.
I think it's on. You know, just kind of following on what Chris was saying, women may lag in jumping out there, you know, to do the purchase. And that's because different research is needed, right, to get comfortable with what's out there. From a utility perspective, and specifically ComEd perspective, our interest in this is really the environmental and the health benefits that you do get from adoption. So from our perspective, yes and yes, you know, hybrid is great, full EV is great, but it's about choice and preference. And so we know that this transition is going to be a gradual transition. There's different things that people are researching, whether or not it's the type of vehicle, the look of the vehicle, the capacity of the vehicle from a range perspective, things of that nature. And so education is going to play a really critical part in this.
Let's double click into that. And that's my nerdy way of saying we're going to talk more about that. So let's think about how we arm both dealers and consumers with the info they need. You started to talk about education. So Kathy, I think it'd be good to hear this from your perspective from CDK, but some of the research we've seen at CARS, we see a 28% year-over-year growth with car shopping on, for electric vehicles on cars.com. And men are significantly more likely to be considering an electric vehicle compared to women, right? I think it's 1 in 3 men on cars.com is considering an EV, whereas 1 in 5 women is considering an EV in that same survey, right? So as we think about, you know, men believe they are more knowledgeable, maybe women don't feel they're as knowledgeable in this decision, right? And given this is a What Drives Her panel, what data points are you seeing and who's shopping for an EV, and how do we engage women in this sort of path toward electric?
So I'll start by just sharing that CDK does a lot of research. We talk to our customers, we talk to our partners, we look at the industry. And this is just, you know, I like show and tell, so I'm just sharing a little bit.
She brought a prop.
The idea, though, is that all of the research that we do is really to help our dealers and is to help our partners as we work with our customers and we work with our industry partners. As it relates to EV, we did a study, and it was really a focus on consumers and understanding kind of 2 real groups, those that have actually purchased an EV and those that were in the market to purchase. And we wanted to really understand, well, who's shopping? Who's buying EVs? And our stats show that 90% of those that are buying have a bachelor's degree or higher. 75% of them are above the age of 45. 57% of them have an annual income over $100,000, and 96% of them are full-time employed. And when you think about that, one of the other things our research showed is that those that are buying EVs, they are all in. They give higher ratings as it relates to the experience that they're experiencing from their the person or organization that they're buying. And one of the other things our research shows is that 12% of them do their entire purchase online. About 12% of them do their entire purchase at a dealership. So somewhere in between, about 76% do a mix. They start online, they go to the dealership, and one of the things that they find, which is so important with our auto dealers, is the education. So Melissa talked about that. They're looking to be educated, And we have a lot of, I'll call aftermarket organizations that are out there, but right now as it relates to EV, is really about understanding what the vehicle and the powertrain and the differences between the two. Is also about the infrastructure. It's about safety. It's about the things that our dealers can do, because consumers are coming to our dealers for education. They're coming to our dealers to help them kind of basically reinforce that this is the right purchase. And so the ones that are out there from a confidence perspective, I'm all for our dealers, and it's important that they educate their associates, their sales guys, their sales teams, because that test drive is so critical. Consumers have to ask the questions that they need to know. They need to understand their buying pattern. How far are you going to be driving? When do you need to charge? Those questions in terms of how you're going to use this vehicle is what gives you more confidence, because there are people out there, especially in the dealership community, that can help you understand that purchase and the significance of it within your organizations and your lives.
Chris, please.
If I could just tag on to that, completely agree, and we're seeing the same data as well. The other thing that we're noticing is that roughly 65% of consumers trust third-party sites more than anything else. And it's because they view them as having objective information. They tend to incorporate insights from experts, and the content that they provide is relevant and meaningful. Video content that shows how a charging system works, the technology behind the battery electric propulsion system, and so they feel like they're better able to connect the dots prior to making a decision regarding the kind of purchase that they want to make. So for us to really move forward, we have to, as OEMs and as a dealer organization, better serve the customers with the information that they need and make it relevant to them to inform their purchase decision.
Okay, I would be remiss if I didn't jump on that one. So, one of the things that I do and my organization does is make sure we're connecting our customers to resources, programs, and services. And one of the things we had identified as we started talking to customers, of ComEd and just connecting to the grid was, I don't know if I know enough. So we created a toolkit. We call it the EV Toolkit, and you can access it on ComEd.com/EV. And it's a great resource because it has all those things that Chris just talked about. If you want to understand soup to nuts, what it looks like to purchase an EV, what considerations in terms of what your experience will be from a cost perspective even, and compare it, to an ICE vehicle. If you want to also understand the incentives out there, what your bill looks like, and if you want to install a charger, all that information is on the EV Toolkit, and it's trying to put it in one holistic package to make it accessible and easy to learn.
Great. If I could so thank you again for having me today. Just delighted to be here. So from our standpoint, we were very intentional about stepping into the market and engaging our community with respect to our universities that we have. So we started with the Mini-E research in UC Davis back in 2012 to really understand customer behavior, what the customer is looking for, what the battery requirements would be, and then really having them, integrate the electric vehicle into their daily lives to understand just how it enhances their experience. Beyond that, just to pull on another thread as it relates to with, what women are looking for, it's making sure that, we can dispel the myths about range anxiety and inspire range confidence so that, as a woman, if you're driving, you want to know that there is supportive infrastructure there that you can rely on. You also want to know that, if something last minute comes up, maybe you have the importance of workplace charging, how that comes into play as well. And so we can go on and on with regard to other multiplier effects of, the necessary infrastructure that's needed there. But yeah.
Linda, while we have your mic up, I have so many questions for you, but there's also, the education for consumers on the how and the why, and I think from your perspective, maybe you can help us think about how we untangle things that are like tax rebates, right? And dealing with the struggle to understand how this demonstrates environmental benefits and why that might also spur adoption, because there's also the policy behind this that is going to benefit consumers too, not just the education on the how far is this car going to get me.
Right, so from a consumer standpoint, what we found is that sustained and well-funded incentives, point of sale incentives, is critically important to move that needle forward. Again, just speaking about, the financial constraints of some women in particular, and if you're looking at underserved communities, that there is that need for incentives to really move the needle and inspire people to purchase the vehicle, so that's critically important. With respect to the other, incentives that are out there, it's complex, and obviously it's something that's of great interest to all of us here. The industry itself has invested significant amounts of money, and by 2030, you'll have approximately $550 billion that is invested into this market. So we're there, the products are there, so it all comes back to consumer education and awareness. And it's particularly why we are so engaged with the various organizations that we work with. Veloz, for example, is a private-public consortium that brings together, individuals from various perspectives. So you have academia, you have the automakers, state agencies, because they understand that they have a role to play in this as well. And the current campaign for Veloz right now is, again, to raise consumer awareness and dispel the myths with, charging infrastructure, how hard it is to find reliable charging network, the usability for electric vehicles in your daily life. So that's where we find, we can be a value added to the community. With respect to inspiring or, raising awareness of environmental benefits, sustainability is at the core and the forefront of what we do from the entire value chain, and looking at how we produce vehicles, the minerals that are into our vehicles, the entire supply chain, but then looking at also, once the vehicle comes out of its use case, what are some of the things that we can do from that? So more than 90% of the parts in our cars are recycled. And, we take our commitment very seriously. In 2015, we signed on to the Paris Agreement. And essentially what that means for us is by 2030, reducing our CO2 emissions by 40%. And, really being a partner here. We were also the first of 4 original signatories to the California Agreement. Again, just stepping up as an OEM to understand what our responsibility is in this space, to make sure that we are that partner with the states, and in partnering with our various groups that we engage with to bring everybody into the table. Yes. No.
Just to add, when I was listening to Kathy and the stats regarding who's buying vehicles, the conversation is really growing around making sure people understand EVs are accessible to all. And there's policy movement that's happening, and we've had it particularly here in Illinois, to make sure that there's equitable access through incentives and other priorities. And so that's an important point, because some people think it's out of reach, or some people think it's just only for the rich, and that is truly not the case. And of course, you talked about infrastructure, which is music to my ears.
Yes.
And when people try to decide whether or not they're going to adopt electric vehicles, they want to make sure that the grid is able to accommodate it. And I am very proud to say that that is something that we really focus on, not just for EVs, but in general. We've just closed out another record year of reliability progress here in Illinois, and this is going to be a gradual adoption, and the grid and the investments that we'll make will grow to make sure that we can have the grid remain reliable and resilient, even with the uptick. And people don't always charge at the same time, by the way.
That's right. And I have a follow-up question for you, Melissa, on that, because I think charging can still be a little bit of a mystery. When I think about the difference between the types of chargers, level 1, level 2, DC fast charging, how is a consumer supposed to know what's best for them? I know we've talked about education. And then depending on that charging option, is there significance in installation, rebates that might defray some of those costs? How do we think about charging options?
So, when you think about electric vehicles, the first thing we recommend is that you do your research, and we do have information in that EV toolkit that helps walk you through it. But in general, a household, if you're at home and you want to install a charger, normally a level 2 would be what you would look for. But But you don't have to have a charger at your home, right? We have many people that live in multi-dwelling units and condos, and there's charging infrastructure publicly available for you to charge your vehicle. And when you talk about other levels of chargers, there's something called fast chargers, where in 30 minutes you can kind of be in and out with a full charge by having coffee at your local convenience, store. But one of the things I want to also say, if you do decide that you want a charger, and there's rebates on chargers, and some of our toolkit does connect you to those rebates, the first thing we want to make sure you do is that you're doing a safe installation. So please, please, please start your journey after your research by consulting an electrician to make sure that you're doing that safely. But there's incentives for that, and it's also for convenience. And when I talked about when people charge, you'll find, because people will pick different ways in which they want to charge, that some people may do it in the daytime where they're at work. You probably see more and more, offices have charging units there for their people. People do it when they're going to the grocery store, and then people do it at night, overnight, when they're sleeping, and then they start their day. So there's so much diversity in the time that people are charging, and that also helps with the dispel the fear of reliability and everything's gonna come at the same time. That's not the reality.
Go ahead. Yes, so there are various incentives that are available for infrastructure, and we find that in the local air quality management districts, they even enhance some of those incentives as well. But with respect to charging and making that more real for the customers and really giving them that power to make that choice about consciously choosing renewable energy, we have what is called a pilot program called Charge Forward with some of our utility partners. And essentially that gives our customers the ability to choose when they charge their electric vehicle, and then also choosing the renewable energy that goes along with that, because as we all know, grid reliability is something that is critically important as we're moving everybody forward to that. So that awareness of, charging perhaps off-peak is where we encourage customers to charge, but then also making that conscious decision to choose the source for your vehicle, renewable energy.
Go ahead, Chris.
If I could just add a point on charging network, one of the things that we're seeing is that customers are becoming increasingly frustrated with the number of charging stations that simply don't work. And so they pull up to try to charge at a network that they might be subscribing to, and maybe as much as 30 to 50% of the stations are not operating as they should be. So we have to put more pressure on those network providers as well as ourselves and the government to help build a more reliable infrastructure, because as EV adoption accelerates and becomes more broad, yes, 80% of customers are still going to largely charge at home, but they're going to need that network to support them when they're driving more than 30 miles a day or so.
And I'd just add, when we look at our research, although technology is the #1 reason that individuals are motivated to purchase an EV, the charging and how frequent and their path, that's really important. Reduced impact on the environment and safety. So there are a lot of reasons why people are motivated to purchase, the technology being one of them, but all of the things that were stated here are key in terms of driving that adoption faster.
And one of the unique things related to what women prioritize, particularly around charging, is the safety of the environment of that charging station. And this was something that, was definitely a light bulb for me when we were watching some focus groups, and women said, I've been in situations where I had to charge at night while I was traveling and I did not feel safe. The station was not well lit, and I wasn't sure if I could be safe and secure in my car while I was waiting the 15 or 20 minutes for my car to charge. So, it's another area for us to address.
Yeah, and I think just, that's precisely why hybrid electric vehicles are such an important transitional technology to give people that confidence, and then also, again, evaluate just how much you're really driving, and then can you really transition to a pure BEV. So critically important for that reason.
Well, no surprise, 30 minutes went very fast. And I want to thank each of our panelists. So thank you, Chris, Kathy, Melissa, and Linda, for offering a perspective from OEM to policy to infrastructure to the research. What an honor to be on stage with each of you. So thank you for your time and enjoy the day. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, ladies, for a great conversation. Clearly, we have a ways to go in getting women to consider electric cars, but from everything that we heard, it's right in our wheelhouse, don't you think? So with this, I would like to start the awards presentation, What Drives Her Awards at the Chicago Auto Show. And to kick off our awards presentation, I am thrilled to introduce our first presenter, Sue Mead, who was our winner last year for the Best in Craft Award. Sue is an accomplished, legendary off-roader, driver, trainer, and journalist. Please welcome Sue Mead.
So great to be back. Thanks. Good morning, Chicago. What an honor it was last year to be recognized. You will truly never know the impact that it had on me in general, and also to have my granddaughter, Eve, who was 8, with me, to see so many energetic, smart, and talented women in one place at one time, and the men that support them. Thank you, Scotty. Your team, Jen Morand, and all who are behind this. I've been in this business since 1988. When I say that to young people, they act like I've said '06. The changes regarding the respect of female voices has been monumental. I'm honored and kind of blown away to be able to present the Best in Craft Media Award this year. And I want to read a description of the award first. It recognizes a full or part-time North American journalist, content creator, or media with a focus on the automotive industry. She demonstrates general excellence of craft, supports women and her colleagues in the automotive industry, or through voice and narrative, creates more accessible automotive information and more inclusive automotive storytelling. These nominees read like a who's who in our business, and I actually feel like I'm at the Oscars right now. I'd like to read the list of nominees, and I would ask if you're here to please stand and stay standing until I finish. Elizabeth Blackstock, Jalopnik, freelance writer and author. Tia Collier, Dallas single parent, freelance, and much more. Eileen Falkenberg Hull from Newsweek. Lauren Fix, the car coach. Lily Morales, writer, photographer, Jersey fashionista, FemDrive, freelance. Elena Scher, Car and Driver magazine, and many others. Kristen Shaw, freelance. Elizabeth St. John, the Car Mom, the Carpool Podcast. Dawn Thigpen Gibson, Sassy Auto Chick, and Femme Drive. Okay, you may be seated. The award finalists are Emmy Hall, freelance, Elena Scher, car and driver, and Kristen Shaw, freelance. And it really is my honor to announce the winner, Kristen Shaw. My eyes are moistening. Kristen is passionate about technology, aviation, and parenting, but cars have taken center stage in her life. She has developed a deep knowledge of the automotive world. I should stop for a moment and let her come to the stage. Ah, yes. Hello. Kristen has developed a deep knowledge of the automotive world and an affinity for the people who bring cars to life, sharing her stories at Car and Driver, The Drive, Popular Science, A Girl's Guide to Cars, Forbes, and many more. She also covers a variety of topics on national platforms like The Washington Post, The Today Show, Good Housekeeping, Women's Day, Cosmopolitan, and the Huffington Post. She also writes for CarMax, Traveling Mom, Today's Parents, and Airport Improvement Management, our magazine. So, Kristen, what an honor it is to be standing with you. All right, so I am now going to turn the stage over to Kathy Webb Roberts.
Thank you. I'm honored to present today the Rising Star Award, which is, the description is, it's a woman that is employed by an automaker, auto retailer, or core automotive supplier. Job title no higher than vice president, works primarily in North America. She may be notable for her empowerment of others, her breaking down of barriers that allows others to follow, and her pursuit of non-traditional roles or jobs. Her leadership and taking on additional roles such as leading an employee resource group or mentoring program. This year's award nominees, and some of them are here and I know some flew in pretty far to attend just this event, so if you could also stand when your name is called. Natasha Adams, mechanic, YouTube and Instagram influencer. Sylvia Lopez Navarro, National Manager, Brand Experience, Corporate Events and Shows, Kia America. Shelly Pratt, Director of Marketing, Communications and Media, Infiniti USA. Shauna Sichi, General Motors West Communications. And Crystal Wyndham, Executive Director, Global Industrial Design, General Motors. Thank you. Thank you. And you guys could please be seated. Thank you. Our finalists this year are Natasha Adams, mechanic, YouTube, and Instagram influencer, Shauna Sici, General Motors West Communications, and Crystal Wyndham, Executive Director, Global Industrial Design, General Motors. And without further ado, the winner this year is Crystal Wyndham, Executive Director, Global Industrial Design, General Motors. Thank you. And unfortunately, Crystal couldn't be with us today, but we have someone accepting on her behalf. A little bit about Crystal: she has built a solid reputation as a change agent and decisive leader with a future-focused automotive creative design. With 20-plus years of world-class experience, she brings forward leading practices with quick success across multiple business areas. She builds collaborative, cross-functional teams to leverage emerging technologies by bringing a customer-centric focus that can drive the aesthetic and technology vision for products and overall customer experience. So, thank you for accepting. She's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, of course. And next up is Megan Dieters. She's a sales manager at Brilliance Honda and was last year's Best Retailer winner.
Hello, my name is Megan Dieters. I am a sales manager at Brilliance Honda in Crystal Lake. Last year, I had the incredible honor of receiving the Best Retailer Award here at the What Drives Her event at the Chicago Auto Show. It does look a little different this year. It's a lot bigger, which is so special. This event is so special. I love that it showcases and celebrates some of the hardworking and talented women rising in this industry. This year, I was given the privilege of announcing the finalist and recipient of the Best Retailer Award here at the 2023 Auto Show. This award's description is employed by a Chicago area dealership. This person demonstrates a high level of commitment and drive to any task at hand, whether that's in sales, service, or technical support. The award nominees are listed above. I'm going to do my best not to butcher anybody's name. Gabrielle Abanian, General Manager, Fox Valley Volkswagen. Christina Baker, Dealer Partner, Rod Baker Ford. Linda Jacobs, Dealer Principal, Bill Jacobs Motorsport. Tina Pade, Controller, Arlington Toyota. Soledad Romero, Store Manager, Romeoville Toyota. Carly Weck, Finance Manager, Elgin Kia. And Danielle West, HR Director, Operations Manager, Fox Valley Volkswagen, Buick, and GMC. The award finalists were Gabrielle Abanian, Soledad Romero, and Carly Weck. It's my privilege to announce the winner was Soledad Romero, Store Manager, Romeoville Toyota. Soledad started at an entry-level position at the dealership during the pandemic. She demonstrated her excellence as a leader and human being with compassion, pride, integrity, and discipline to achieve the results. She has climbed her way up to the top of management. What is more exciting is she had zero automotive experience when joining the team 2 years ago. Soledad leads by example and is willing to help with any department. She handles it all with grace and compassion while leading her team. Congratulations. Congratulations. And I am going to turn it back over to Scotty.
Thank you, Megan, and congratulations, everyone. We have one more award, and that is our Automotive Ally Award. There is a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. Madeleine Albright said that. But I would add to that, there's a special place in heaven for allies. At the end of last year's awards ceremony, we knew something was missing, and that was recognition of the people who make all this possible. It was pretty clear we needed to recognize our allies, those who teach us, who coach us, who advocate and lead us to do bigger, more incredible things, often things we didn't think we could do. As Sue Mead said last year, much of her success was from the men who put her on their shoulders and taught her to lead and taught her to learn and taught her to share her stories and accomplish her goals and her dreams. Our allies are everything. So with that, I am thrilled to share the nominees. Nina Barlow, founder of Barlow Adventures, who has given so many women the opportunity not just to learn to off-road and find adventure, but also to fix their own cars. LG Bright, the chair of Automotive Marketing and Management at Northwood University, and I want to give LG a special shout out because please say hello to LG. LG is at his foundation an ally in everything that he does and has brought so many young people, especially women, to exciting and rewarding careers in automotive. Dean Case, communications consultant, Motivo Engineering, who spends so much of his career and also his free time coaching young people, especially women, to automotive careers. Julie Conlon, Continental Tire, who seeks every day to bring new voices to storytelling and tires and bring those stories to new consumers. Deborah Grieb from Auto Pacific, who spends so much of her time not only advocating for others, but bringing consumer stories to the forefront so we better understand our customers. Emily Miller, founder of the Rebel Rally, who brought freedom and incredible accomplishment to thousands of women who compete in the Rebel Rally and watch the Rebel Rally from the sidelines and dream of doing it, and by teaching so many women to off-road. Jennifer Newman, editor-in-chief of Cars.com, who both recruits and helps women and other people to build a career in journalism, but also brings an important and necessary voice of the consumer into automotive. Wendy Orthman, who I believe is watching our live stream, Executive Director of Marketing at Genesis Motor America, who has blazed a path from communications into marketing and is lighting the way for so many to follow. Cheryl Thompson, CEO and founder, Center for Automotive Diversity, Inclusion, and Advancement. After a 30-year career in engineering in automotive, she switched gears to help organizations build diversity, inclusion, and equity into their organizational structure and success. Nicole Santana, the Axis Agency, who is missioned with bringing new voices and new perspectives to automotive. And Sabrina Yuan, VP of Strategy, Cariad by Volkswagen, who is charged with bringing new voices and new people into our automotive world, especially in the area of technology. And with that, I am so excited to announce our winner of the Automotive Ally Award, Jennifer Newman, editor-in-chief of Cars.com. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jen Morand.
Thanks again for everybody who came out this morning to the 6th annual What Drives Her program. I just wanted to say congratulations again to all of the winners. Clearly your colleagues think a lot of you and speak very highly of you. So really congratulations to everybody, all the nominees, finalists, and the winners. Great job. So just a couple housekeeping items. I'd like to invite all of you to join BMW at their display in the South Hall. They're hosting the first ever BMW Innovators Brunch, which is going to be a celebration of women in automotive. So please head over to the South Hall after that if you'd like to join. And then from now until 11 a.m., brunch will be served, beverages including a champagne toast from the custom BMW Mimosa Bar as well. So thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.